Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amrutam gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om. May the divine lead us from the unreal to the real, from darkness to light, from death to immortality. Om. Peace, peace, peace.
This song is composed by Ram Prasad. Everything is your will, O Mother. You are the wish-fulfilling star. You do your work, but people think they do it. You keep some stuck in the mud, and you are the one who make a lame person cross the mountain. I am the instrument, you are the operator. I am the home, you are the dweller. I am the chariot, you are the charioteer. We go the way you drive. Shokoli tomari ichha. Shokoli tomari ichha, ichha moi tara tumi. তোমার কর্ম তুমি করো মা, লোকে বলে করিয়া। মি সকলি তোমার ইচ্ছা, ইচ্ছা মই তারা তুমি। তোমার কর্ম তুমি করো মা, লোকে বলে করিয়া। মি সকলি তোমার ইচ্ছা, পঙ্কে বাধ্য করো করে। পঙ্গুরে লঙ্ঘাও গিরে, পঙ্কে বাধ্য করো করে। পঙ্গুরে লঙ্ঘাও গিরে, কারে দামা ব্রহ্মপদ, কারে করো অদগা। মি কারে দামা ব্রহ্মপদ, কারে করো অদগা। মি সকলি তোমার ইচ্ছা, ইচ্ছা মই তারা তুমি। তোমার কর্ম তুমি করো মা, লোকে বলে করিয়া। মি সকলি তোমার ইচ্ছা, পঙ্কে বাধ্য করো করে। পঙ্গুরে লঙ্ঘাও গিরে, পঙ্কে বাধ্য করো করে। পঙ্গুরে লঙ্ঘাও গিরে, কারে দামা ব্রহ্মপদ, কারে করো অধগামী। কারে দামা ব্রহ্মপদ, কারে করো অধগামী। সকলি তোমার ইচ্ছা, ইচ্ছা মই তারা তুমি। তোমার কর্ম তুমি করো মা, লোকে বলে করিয়া। মি সকলি তোমারি ইচ্ছা আমি যন্ত্র, তুমি যন্ত্রে আমি ঘর, তুমি ঘরণী আমি যন্ত্র, তুমি যন্ত্রে আমি ঘর, তুমি ঘরণী আমি রথ, তুমি রথী, যেমন চালাও তেমনি চলি আমি রথ, তুমি রথী, যেমন চালাও তেমনি চলি সকলি তোমারি ইচ্ছা, ইচ্ছাময়ী তারা তুমি, তোমার কর্ম তুমি করো মা, লোকে বলে করিয়া মি সকলি তোমারি ইচ্ছা।
I'm reading from the book Nag Mahashay, a saintly householder disciple of Sri Ramakrishna. Here, Nag Mahashay went for the last time to Sri Ramakrishna some 5 or 6 days before his passing away. As soon as he entered the room, he heard the master saying, "Can amalaki be had now? My taste has become so flat for everything. I think it can be removed if I could chew one amalaki." So amalaki is one type of fruit. Of the devotees present there, somebody said, "Sir, this is not the season for amalaki. Where can we get it now?" Nag Mahashay thought that when the word amalaki came out of the holy lips of the master, it was sure to be had somewhere, for he knew that whatever the master wished for was sure to come to him somehow. Once Sri Ramakrishna desired to taste an orange, and he was saying about it to Swami Adbhutananda. And strangely enough, Nag Mahashay thought, though he had no knowledge about the master's desire, came to Dakshineshwar that very day with oranges for the master, who ate one with great relish. Remembering this incident, Nag Mahashay, without informing anybody, went away in search of amalaki fruits. 2 days passed away, but Nag Mahashay did not turn up. These days he was busy searching for the fruit, constantly wandering from garden to garden. On the 3rd day, he appeared before Sri Ramakrishna with one amalaki fruit in hand. The master's joy knew no bounds. Being overjoyed like a child, he said, "Ah, what a beautiful amalaki it is! How could you get it at this time of the season?" The master then asked Swami Ramakrishnananda to prepare meal for Nag Mahashay. Nag Mahashay then took his seat by the master and began to fan him. The food was ready, but Nag Mahashay did not get up. Only when Sri Ramakrishna had asked him to go down and take his food did he get up from the seat and go down. He took his seat but did not touch the meal. All requested him to take his food, but Nag Mahashay remained silent. It was Ekadashi, the day of fasting, but his real intention was that if Sri Ramakrishna kindly gave him prasadam, he would break his vow, though he did not open his mind to anybody else. When Nag Mahashay would not touch the food by any means, Ramakrishnananda informed the master about it. Sri Ramakrishna asked him to bring the food before him. It was done. Swami Ramakrishnananda held a plate of leaf before the master, who took just a little from all the dishes, touched them with his tongue, and said, "Now go and give it to him. He will eat." Swami Ramakrishnananda brought down the plate and spread it again before Nag Mahasaya. "Prasadam, prasadam, holy prasadam." Nag Mahasaya exclaimed and prostrated himself before the plate, and then he ate it. Here is reading.
Now a short period of meditation. Good morning, friends. Meeting after a long time in person, though we're connected on internet. Online connection was there from many places, but being together in person is something really different. I also miss being here when I have to go somewhere outside for some duty to perform, to meet the Swamis outside. So today's talk is on Shraddha. Shraddha is a beautiful word often translated as faith. Faith, trust, belief, confidence, and reverence. All these come in Shraddha. Shraddha has a reverence and actually love combined together makes Shraddha. You respect and love. That thing is called Shraddha. That becomes reverential. There is love and respect. And Shraddha is that. Very difficult to translate. That's why Swami Vivekananda says it is a word in Sanskrit. We cannot have faithful translation into English. Any word doesn't suit the word Shraddha implies in Sanskrit. No word implies that. In the very foundation book of Vedanta, it is said Shraddha is one of the quality of a person which is needed to have self-control. One of the four very important things to realize the truth. So that is Shraddha, Samadhi, Shatka, Sampatti, 6 treasures, 6 wealth, that spiritual wealth that are needed for realization of truth, beginning from Sama, or the control of the mind. So control of the mind, control of the senses, Samadhamma, Uparati, bringing back the mind, Titiksha, endurance, forbearance, Shraddha, Shraddha comes there. Shraddha and Samadhi, having full concentration. Shraddha is the thing that we are going to talk about today. So important for our spiritual practice, so important for our life. Even one who doesn't believe in spirituality, he or she needs this Shraddha or faith to live happily and peacefully in this life. If we don't have Shraddha, we are a doubting person. We are a doubting Thomas, reasoning for everything, doubting for everything. If Shraddha comes, then comes the reverence, then comes the appreciation, then comes love, then comes trust. Without trust or faith or belief, how we can survive only on reasoning the thing? So it is so important, this Shraddha, or loosely translated as faith. What is Shraddha called in the foundation book of Vedanta, called Vedanta Sara, written by Yogi Sadananda? It says, Gurupadishta Vedanta Vakyeshu Vishwasa. Vishwasa here means a trust or confidence. In what? Guru Vakya and Vedanta Vakya. Rather, the Vedanta, ultimate truth, the truth of scriptures, that is narrated by the Guru. The truth of scriptures can be heard from someone, can be read in the book, but it has a different dimension when we hear from some authority. The authority like Guru, who is responsible for my all well-being. So from him or her, if it comes, it has different strong dimension. Guru Padishta Vedanta Vakyeshu Vishwasaha, full confidence and trust in the word of Vedanta that comes from Guru. Because Guru is supposed to realize that and that narrate that scriptural word. The scriptural word that is written in the scriptures are very highly spiritual and very subtle messages. The messages seem to be difficult to even realize, difficult to bring practical in our life. And someone like Acharya, teacher, spiritual teacher, when it comes through him, we instantly feel that the person has realized it, so made it practical in life. Yes, it is true. It means to be truth. It is realizable. It gains strength by when we hear it from the teacher. That's why to have full trust and confidence in the words of Guru, Guru will speak whatever is taught in the scriptures, in Vedanta, about the ultimate reality and how to attain this. Brahma Vakya and Yoga Shastra. Gita is said that way. It is Brahma Vidya and Yoga Shastra, ultimate reality of the spiritual truth. And also how to attain that. That is what Guru represents. Guru represents ultimate truth that comes through his mouth, and also he represents that he has understood, realized, made that truth practical in life, and that's why it makes strength, momentum, the trust comes. Yes, when he says it must be true, it is realizable. That's why the Shraddha says that Guru Padishta Vedanta Vakyeshu Vishwasa, trust and confidence and conviction in the Vedanta teachings of the scripture that come from the Guru. That is Shraddha. Shankaracharya says Shraddha is Astikya Buddhi. Astikya Buddhi is intellect of right understanding. Shraddha is a kind of the formation of intellect. Intellect that has become pure and sharp. And that's why very strong, powerful, always guiding us in the right direction. And that astikya buddhi, when it develops, so that is the right understanding. It will never lead us to something wrong path. made us feel something wrongly, will not give us wrong information. It will be always guiding us in the right track. That is the astikya buddhi. Astikya buddhi, astha itself is vishwasa, is shraddha. Astha, you have faith, trust in something, it's called astha in Sanskrit. So astikya buddhi is that you have that buddhi that has trust in the things that we hear, in the person that you believe. There is already a part of trust, and it says there is astikya buddhi is developed. Mind is transformed. It has become pure. It has become powerful. It has become sharp to understand the truth. Sri Ramakrishna says that when mind becomes sharp, it can understand the hidden inner spirit of the scriptures. Otherwise, scripture is maybe very subtle teachings are there, difficult to understand. If you just read the Upanishad without listening to the monks or other scholars explaining that, very difficult to understand the scriptures. So especially the Vedanta, especially the Upanishads. But when you hear that from some teacher that is capable of explaining that through insight, through experience, through struggling himself or herself to go deeper and find out really what it means to say, then we quickly understand that. That's why when we hear some great teachers like Swami Sarvapriyananda, Swami Tyagananda, we really feel, yes, and it becomes so clear, so easy. Yes, it is true. I can fully understand the truth which we couldn't understand by studying the scriptures. We understand when we get explanation from them, because they already struggled to go deeper into it. They got information from other different scholars, other different explanations, and having spent a lot of time and energy and intellect to understand, fully grasp the inner meaning and become so clear to them. And they now come in front of us to make that thing clear, and it becomes so much clear. Astikya buddhi has developed in them. And that astikya buddhi, they ignite our intellect with that. Like it is like burning a candle with another candle. We are all candle waiting to be lighted. And when lighted candle has come, and it just lights us, we feel, yes, it is so easy to understand the scriptural truths that is being described now. Everything becomes, like in Bengali we say, like water it has become. So simple like water. Joler moto. Like that happens. So that is the astikya buddhi. Not only they have developed astikya buddhi, but they make us develop our intellect as the astikya buddhi. All our dross and impurities of the intellect, our mind is gone, and we become focused on the teaching and on in the presence of that person. That's how the powerful the holy company is. It is not just listening to the lecture in university class when the teacher says something and tries to explain very intricate subjects that we want to understand, and we really understand that. Here, scriptural teaching is just connecting, and it is lighting the candle of spirituality. It is much more intimate than the professor relationship between professor and student. That's why we feel so much joy when some person who could really explain the intricate teachings of the Shastras comes in front of us, who has himself or herself studied and got deeper into that and realized that and comes and speaks to that. So that is what is called astikya buddhi. And Shankara says to develop astikya buddhi is shraddha. Once this astikya buddhi has developed, our intellect has been changed from our present intellect of having doubts and other impurities and weaknesses and shortcomings that all cloud our intellect, and doubts and anger and the disbelief and all those things. When they are gone, our intellect becomes astikya buddhi. That's what Shankara says. Then we understand, yes, it is true. Swami Adbhutananda didn't study any scriptures. Only what he did, he had heard from Sri Ramakrishna. But what he heard, the truth from Sri Ramakrishna, he realized all truth. He was a Brahmagyani without studying any scriptures, any truth of Vedanta, any book of Vedanta. And once one Pandit had come, he was explaining how this Atman should be taught. There's no complication. That person has no like and dislike. Everyone is lovable. Everything is lovable. And that becomes prasada buddhi. But to have the prasada buddhi, the buddhi has to become astikya buddhi. Shraddha has to develop in us. We know the story of Nachiketa. Swami Vivekananda most favorite Upanishad is Kathopanishad, in which the story of Nachiketa comes. Nachiketa was a small boy of 7 or 8 years old, and his father, Bhajasravas, was a very generous rishi, kingly rishi. And he wanted to, used to give, donate the things in charity, many things. Once he thought, I should give up all my possession. What is their possession for the rishi? I will give up everything. But thinking so in a way, he became hypocrite. Often we deceive ourselves. That is one problem in spiritual life, self-deception. So this Vajasravas, a rishi, he now thought of giving everything that he proclaimed. I want to give up all my possessions. But when he started giving that time the possession, the wealth was cows, cattle. So he started giving the cattle that was non-productive, who did not yield milk, who were old enough, who couldn't eat anything. The Kathopanishad very beautifully, poetically says, he was giving the cows that had eaten for the last time, that had given milk for the last time, dugdha doha nirindriya, jagdatrina dugdha doha nirindriya, and had no senses. So there was no power to have the calf again. So no way it could, so it had become old. And he was giving that. And all good he was keeping. He was not giving everything. And Nachiketa, the son of father, he thought, what father is doing? Young boy, what is my father is doing? It will bring all demerits to him. Have I some role as a son to protect my father from the sins that he will get, from the demerit he will get from this hypocrisy? So that time he felt, I can help my father. I have duty as my son to protect my father from the wrong thing he is doing. 8-year-old son going to father in that society, it was never thought. Children don't speak anything. They don't know about what Vajasravas, what that yajna is. That yajna was called Vishwajit yajna. That yajna in which you give everything. Nothing they know. They are happy playing. Father is doing something. The Brahmins had been invited. He was giving. They don't bother anything. But he saw through his deep sight, and tremendous self-awareness, self-confidence came in him. And that is called, in Upanishad, it's called Shraddha entered into him. Shraddha vivesa so manyata. Having Shraddha entered into him. This is Shraddha, doesn't have to enter. We all have Shraddha. It's just covered with our doubting mind, impurities of the mind. Remove all those, Shraddha is already there. In poetically it is said, Shraddha entered into that mere boy. And he went to his father and says, Father, I am also one of your possession. I am also one of the things that you possess, whom you are giving to me. Now who will give his own son to anyone? He was giving his wealth and cattle. Then first he ignored. Then this boy, Shraddha, had entered so much, he was doing all wrong. He wanted to rectify his father. Second time he asked, Father, whom are you giving to me? Because father and son are one, that time one. Like the wealth is the property, was the part of the father, like that the son was the part of the father. He had become so much one with the welfare of his father, welfare of himself. It had come in that way. That's called Shraddha, felt oneness. And third time he asked, Father, whom are you giving to me? Father became very annoyed and angry. He's disturbing me in the process that I was doing hypocritically, giving the ill-fated cows to the people and in the name of giving all. And this boy asking, questioning me, my son, 8-year-old, to rishi like me, who is regarded and respected by the whole world. In fit of anger, he said, I give you to death. Now, after he said that, then he became aware. What did I say? Oh, I said that, but I didn't mean that you should die. I give you to death. He was now keeping back the words which he cannot do. Rishi Vakya, when it comes, you can bring it back. So he was very sad. Then Nachiketa, whom Sraddha had entered, he says to his father, "Don't worry, Dad. We are in this world born like a corn. Live some time and again we die like a corn, like a corn. One year it is born and it again plant dies, leaving many seeds. That's how the life is so temporary. Why are you worrying if I go to death? Don't worry. From your word, mouth, the word has come. It must have some meaning that I have to go to death." And he really then goes to death, the Kathopanishad says. And he goes there. Yama, the story says, Yama was not there in his kingdom. He had gone with some chores. Somewhere he had gone. He had to roam many places. Yama is the one who makes all laws, rules prevail in the earth. When one will die, when will live, how much is the life. He has to make perfect calculation. He has to go in exact time, no late there. There is no Indian time. All is there Canadian time. When the time of death comes, no second late that Yama will be there to take us. So take every being. That is what punctual is Yama. So Yama had gone somewhere for 3 days, and then after he comes, he sees a young boy sitting there. Living, the person don't come, living person there. Only one story is there that living person has gone to the heaven. The one that is Yudhishthira. But here is in the Upanishadic age, he has come. He felt very sorry for the boy. You are my guest, and you are sitting on my door 3 days without eating, without sleeping, without rest. Because I was not there, I could not welcome you. I feel so sorry. Now to mitigate that his fault, he said, "Ask 3 boons, what you want. I will give, and just to my mistake of my not welcoming you, giving trouble." Then Nachiketa then asked for 3 boons. That is the whole of Kathopanishad. It starts after that. So like that story, but the Swami Vivekananda says this faith is the very important thing. It entered into Nachiketa, the young boy, and it did miracle to save his father. He started feeling, I have to protect my father. And he goes to death, god of death, Yama, with full faith in himself. And he says, why my father said that to me? I am always among the best, or sometimes among the mediocre, but I was never last. But father said that, it must be some meaning. With that faith, he goes to Yama, and first question asks, first boon. And Yama, and he says to Yama, when I go back to the world, may my father recognize me as a living being, not a person who has come from death, not like the ghost. And may my father now be not worried for me. That was the first boon. Still he is thinking of the well of the father. And he was so sharp and clever. He says, when I have seen you, I will go back. I will not be dead. You will not give up this physical body. I will go again to the world, to my father. Second, he says, what is the way to go to heaven? Some ritualistic worship and yajna and homa and fire worship. Can you teach me that? Nachiketa teaches that. Now third question he asks third boon. He says, people say after death nothing remains. Some say soul remains. What is the truth? Is there a life after death or nothing remains? Then Yama was startled listening to such spiritual question from a mere boy of this world. And he said, what are you asking this? Even gods and intellectuals and all those people, angels, don't know the answer to this. They never dare to ask such question. Is there life after death or not? They didn't inquire about the verity of the soul. And you are asking such question? And he wanted to digest Nachiketa from asking such question. Nachiketa had so much of Shraddha in him. And he says, you are saying that even gods and angels don't know the answer to this question? Therefore, I must know this, having got a teacher like you. Is a very rare thing. And you are the one who can teach me about the Atman, the existence of Atman after death, because you deal with the soul after death. So I have to learn from this. Nachiketa says, don't ask that. take this all things of enjoyment, heavenly enjoyment. Nachiketa hardly has the enjoyment. Only Indra is thought to be having the all in the enjoyment. Apsaras, dances, and Airavata, and wealth. But Nachiketa is always in duty. He is the Dharmaraja, always in duty. But still he says, I will grant you that. He is a big post, no? Dharmaraja. So, take this chariots and dancers and life as long as you want to live, and the land as vast as you want to have. Nachiketa says, no, nothing. You have your dancers and chariots, have Rattaveva Vaha Tava Nritya Gite, and dancers and the musicians, you have your own. Teach me that truth. I will not go away from that truth, not deviate from to knowing other than knowing that truth. So Nachiketa relentlessly, he sticks to his goal of whether there is life after death or not, whether the soul remains even after the body dies or not, because he had that Sraddha entered. This Sraddha makes him answer to that. This Sraddha makes him not deviate from the truth. When there is so much of all things told him to take this and enjoy your life. But Sraddha had entered to him. I have come to do some things, find some truth that is to be there. This is the power of Sraddha. The Swami Vivekananda says that Sraddha, and Swami Vivekananda takes this Sraddha from Nachiketa. Sraddha is not only faith and conviction in the words of Vedanta coming from the Guru, but it is also tremendous faith in oneself. And said faith in oneself, faith in God. That is essential. If you have faith in 30 million gods, but you don't have faith in yourself, you are an atheist. You are a non-believer. So have faith in yourself. You can do anything and everything. That much faith you have in yourself. And that is Sraddha, Swami Vivekananda says. Sraddha, Swami describes as immense faith in oneself. I can do. Yes, I can do. Some election time in American president, that was there, the slogan. Yes, we can do. Like that, yes, I can do, I can achieve, I can know, I will succeed. That type of faith, Sraddha enters, and that gives tremendous strength to our being. Mind becomes very strong. In the Gita it is said, Sraddha Maya Ayam Purusha. Our personality is Sraddha. If we do not have Sraddha, we are no being. When there is faith, trust in ourselves, then we are living beings. Otherwise, we are dead. Strength is life, weakness is death, says Swami Vivekananda. What is that strength? It is Sraddha in oneself. And Gita says, Yo yat Sraddha sa eva sa. Whatever type of Sraddha one has, that is his or her personality, according to Sraddha. In Chandogya Upanishad, the story comes that Uddalaka was a student. And he had gone to his teacher, he happened to be his father. The student was Shwetaketu and the teacher was Uddalaka. Both are great rishis of the Upanishads. Shwetaketu goes to his father and teach about Vedanta. The Uddalaka tries to teach him, and Shwetaketu could not understand the intricacies. Then finally, Uddalaka, the father and teacher, says to his son and student, Shraddhyasya Somya, have faith, O good one, be imbued with faith. You can understand the truth, you can realize the Brahman, have that faith. So, Shraddhyasya Somya. So, that's what he says. Be imbued with Shraddha. Have that confidence. You can realize the Brahman. You can realize the truth. And there it is said that the truth that is called Tattvamasi, that thou art, that is said to your Shwetaketu, Tattvamasi Shwetaketu, that Uddalaka says to our Shwetaketu. Faith, actually, this Shraddha matures into conviction, and convictions culminates into realization. That Shraddha gives us a conviction. Yes, it is true. It is so. It has to be true. That's how the Shraddha comes. And finally Shraddha leads into conviction, and conviction culminates into realization. What you have heard, that's what the Shraddha is. Whether the faith says just believe, it is said. Just what is taught, what is said in the scriptures, believe that Christ made many fish out of one fish, he made wine out of water. Believe in that. That is the faith in the scriptures. But what is Shraddha? Shraddha is, the scriptures say, you can realize that you are Brahman. You can go beyond the idea that you are body. Thinking yourself as the body is ignorance, and when knowledge comes, you understand you are consciousness. Scripture says this. And the Shraddha is that having faith in this teaching and then trying to practically realize this truth. The Shraddha gives us impetus to realize the truth. Shraddha has to culminate into realization. That faith or Shraddha brings conviction. It is said in the Upanishad, it is told by my Guru, it must be true. Let me pursue this truth. When the truth is pursued and it is realized and culminates in truth, so Shraddha leads there. The opposite of Shraddha, having no trust, no faith, is doubt. This people often doubt, reasoning man. So they all try to, everything they will reason out. What is the utility of this? Whether it really happened or not. Somewhere so much of doubting people. One story Sri Ramakrishna says how doubting people were there during his own time. One person came and said that I saw today one big wall was there of a compound wall. It fell down. He went to his friend and said, yesterday it happened. Friend said, oh, it fell down. Let me pick up the yesterday's newspaper and see whether it is given in there or not. So his Shraddha was only in newspaper, not on the direct perceiver. Like that, people are also there. Whatever is printed in newspaper or is blazes in this electronic world, electronic media, that they will believe everything. But if someone says it happens, or someone says it is not, they all write something, take money and they can write the articles, anything printed, oh, you know, Swami, this is so good. How do you know? It is printed there in nature. It has come in Globe and Mail, this article. It must be true, whatever is written. People write articles even by taking money. They praise one thing today, drinking coffee is very good. Next they say drinking coffee is not good. They take money and write. But people have so much faith. If it comes in newspaper, it is like Vedas for many people. Shraddha is centered only in the newspaper. So like that it happens. So we have to have that rationality. People can do that. So this doubting mind will doubt everything. Even with reasoning, they have to reason to smile. What is there to smile? How much to smile? With reason, if it fits, then they will smile with reasoning. People say they go to sleep and reason out. Sleeping is important for getting rest. They will they have a reason for sleeping, reason for working, reason for believing in God, reason for going to temple. Everything is reasoned out, not out of love or Shraddha for them. Too much of reasoning makes our life very mechanical and very doubting. Reason is just, the doubting mind is a victim of cynicism that scoffs at what it does not understand. Everything reason, if you understand, it's okay. Otherwise, all becomes superstition. All become, you just believe it like that. You are a superstitious person. You don't reason out. So Sri Ramakrishna, that's why is to say, Vishwase milaya vastu Tarke bahudur. If we have Shraddha, you will gain the thing. If you want to reason out, your truth is very far away. When someone says, God is living, Divine Mother is living, Sri Ramakrishna says, I saw Mother there living and eating and talking. If doubting mind is there, doubting Thomas, he will doubt everything. He doubts even the Jesus. He will doubt even Sri Ramakrishna's words. Oh, I see there, I never saw Mother talking. I went watch and I went whole day was there in Dakshineswar. I never saw Divine Mother moving. How Sri Ramakrishna? It might be hallucination. That's the word of doubting people. They will doubt everything. But the people of Shraddha will say, Sri Ramakrishna's mind was so pure. His love was so strong, love for God. He has seen, if I can raise my mind to that level, I also can see Divine Mother, walking, talking, eating. So I have to raise my mind. Shraddha will lead us there, and doubt will try to nullify every truth that has happened and experienced by the people. Reasoning people also, intellectual rigidity is a form of fanaticism. People who reason out are very rigid. Whatever they think is right, only that is right. Other is not right. Swami Vivekananda, though he believed in lot of reasoning, just see when this Gopal's mother said, I brought Krishna, he was in my bosom, I walked with him, the baby Krishna came with me, all in her realization, not seen by others, came from Panihati to Dakshineswar, and his tiny feet were dangling on my chest, on my bosom, and Krishna's head on my shoulder. I came with this. When she came to tell to Sri Ramakrishna, Narendranath, young man representing the reasoning world, reasoning time, and she said to Narendranath, do you think what I saw is real? Narendranath was so magnanimous, though reasoning out, but he didn't put aside the faith, aside the trust, otherwise he could not become the disciple of Sri Ramakrishna. And he said, yes, mother, what you saw is all true. So much of balance between reasoning and trust and faith, that becomes Swami Vivekananda, this combination of reasoning and realization, truth. Faith matures into realization. How this faith matures? That's how it is said in Vedanta, 3 methods for realization. Sravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. You hear the truth. And you have to find out the truth is really, it is true or not. What is said is really true. Then for that you manana, you cogitate, you think, you put question and answer, you struggle to understand whether it is true or not. You have manana, then you have convinced intellectually what is said is true. This life that we see is temporary. It is never, it will not last forever. But I, the person, the being is immortal and ever present. It doesn't die. Like that conviction comes from manana. And conviction is not realization. To realize, you have to go still deeper on the thought that you have been convinced with, and that is called nididhyasana, meditation, going deeper into the conviction that you had through vichara. That's why it is said, ordinary realization is immediate or direct perception. That is what the realization is. Ordinary perception is indirect. Whatever we perceive is indirect, through eyes or ear or skin or touch. All is some medium is there. In realization, it is direct perception, soul to soul. That is the perception. Perception, direct perception of ultimate reality is near unconscious, that I had some realization when I was asleep, or nor conscious. When I'm awake, then it is awake, I could realize that. But it is a super conscious state when we have crossed even the waking state. So 4 disciplines for realization comes discernment, always trying to say what is real and what is unreal, what is permanent, what is impermanent. This world as we perceive, created world is impermanent. It is here today, every day changing, and every day going back to its original compound which creates it. So it is temporary. So like the discerning, but the Atman, the reality, the God, the Atman, the soul is permanent, never dying, never changing, never affected by anything in the world. That discernment. From the discernment comes dispassion. Dispassion is you are not attached to anything. When you have conviction that is impermanent and changing, we don't get attached to this thing. When we don't have perfect discernment, perfect conviction of impermanence. That's why you get attached to impermanent thing. One person get example. When you are in the plane, you don't fight much with the plane seat. this is my seat, I have to sit here. Because it is temporary. After 1 hour you have to go down. Someone says it is my seat, okay, you sit there, I go and sit in her place. Doesn't matter, after all 1 hour I have to give up. So we don't get attached to the seat. But for other things, it is my house, it is my car, it is my body. All this my word makes everything attachment brings. And it is all temporary. So there is nothing called mine. That's what the song was. Ami amar nai janani amar nai kichui bhutale. Another Shama Sangit. Amar nai kichui bhutale. Ye brahmando tumar srishti drishti hine amar bole. I have nothing to say mine. Everything is your, O mother. Those who have no eyes, who have no understanding, they say it is mine. This body is not mine, this mind is not mine, nothing is mine. What is mine then? There is nothing called mind. I exist as the consciousness, one without a second. And all this mind is the play of ego, play of nature, play of Prakriti that is going on. Why should be I a part of that? With discernment, I can dissociate myself with that attachment. So that's how these 4 steps for realization: discernment, dispassion, self-control, and longing for liberation. So for this realization, there are 3 tests. One is testimony of the scriptures, Shruti. What the scripture says, truth. God is real. That is Shruti. Now God is real, everything else unreal, impermanent, God alone is permanent. We have to think upon it. That's called yukti, reasoning. That reasoning is something vichara. It's not just reasoning, but vichara we can find, we can understand. Everything is flux, everything going, changing. What we were yesterday, we are not today. What we were 10 years ago, we are not today. Everything changing towards apakshiyate. Now many of us in this stage is apakshiyate. We are declining. Our body is declining. Done. Jayate asti vardhate. We grew up, we attained maturity, now declination, declining. And after that, apakshiyate. Then nasyati. It will destroy, body will destroy. We should be aware of this body thing, which is not us, which is not me, which is not mine. So this body will one day go. We have to be convinced of that. That's called vichara. Then does with the body, I will also go? No. The scriptures say, I am Atma, Sattvamasi, Shvetaketu. You are that immortal, pure consciousness, Shvetaketu. Realize that. That's called vichara. Yes. I think I am not gone. I will be always there. How can I be just eliminated because body goes? I was there even before this body was not there. I am here when body is there. This body will go. Still I will be there. I will continue. That type of vichara will lead us. Shruti, that's called yukti. And finally, with Shruti and yukti, with vichara, Sravana Manana. And then comes anubhuti. We realize, yes, I am the Atman, God is the reality, and world is ever-changing Prakriti. So then we focus on the reality. We love reality. We serve reality. We relate with every being with their soul, not with their body or mind. These varieties of body and mind are there, but soul is one that appears as so many lighted lamps, the consciousness, divided consciousness it appears as, but it's one soul appearing as many. So we relate to that soul when we have realization. All that comes from Shraddha. When we have Shraddha in the words of scriptures, in the words of teacher, and in ourselves, that what teacher has given us, the truth and truthful message of the scriptures, that I can realize. I can make it practical in my life. I can dive deep into that truth. Doob, 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 sagore amar mon. That is the Roop Sagar. That is the truth where I have to dive deep and find the jewels of spiritual truth, that Atman is immortal and Tattvamasi Shvetaketu. Shvetaketu, you are that immortal Atman, that blissful Atman, that Atman which is one without a second. You are not the body, mind, senses. That's just the appearance that it is there. You are that glorious being. Realize that by the grace of God and with Shraddha, Vishwasa and Astikya Buddhi, each of us, because we are born as a human being, are capable of realizing that truth. Shraddha will give us that strength to practice for this realization. Thank you.